Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in one more time to the Y'all Be Good podcast. This is our very last episode in the series of Morbid Curiosities. Ooh. So far, we've had a
medium, medical examiner, paranormal investigator,
and
Ron. Now a funeral director.
A funeral home director. We're almost to the end of season 1. How do we feel about this?
I don't know, a little bittersweet.
It is bittersweet. I think it was a nice learning experience for our new season coming up in the new year.
Yes, like pre-plan things, Ralph.
Pre-plan things, but
always be 2 months ahead, not a month ahead.
This is honestly probably the most planning I've ever done for any project in my life, other than maybe opening up little line cuts. But even that was like every
By
week,
the fleet of
trying to figure out what permit needed to be pulled that week. But the podcast, I mean, I'm kind of proud of myself that we have a month in advance before they actually have to come out. So that was about the most planning that anyone's ever going to get out of me. Mm-hmm. But season 2, we've already got some very interesting folks, some that we know, some that we have contacted through the pod. And listen up, guys.
We got a list.
There's also going to be sponsorship opportunities.
That's the air horn.
Whoa, we have an air horn on this thing.
No, I like our air horn better.
Sorry if you guys are driving or trying to enjoy your evening or morning.
Or you're wearing earbuds and we just scream.
Or we're just screaming in your ear, yeah.
It's okay.
But it's going to be exciting. Season 2 coming up. But this season, we are chatting with Daryle Sturino.
It's like Carl, but with a duh.
Yeah. But it's spelled like Daryl.
No, it's not. There's only one R.
Oh, okay. Well, Daryle. I didn't know how to pronounce it.
It's like dessert and desert. Dessert has 2 S's because you want to go back from seconds.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Desert has one S. You made me question my spelling skills, which are already questionable. That's the only way I know how to spell dessert.
Same, actually, yeah.
But we had fun talking to Daryle.
Daryle. I told you we were going to do it. No, Daryle Sturino. He and his lovely family come in here with their beautiful baby girl, and
she's silly.
They're really nice, and it was actually really cool talking to him. I had never really met him. You've talked to him a couple of times, but they are second generation, or he's second generation funeral home director in the Racine area. Sturino Family Funeral Home.
Yes.
In Racine. I really enjoyed that he's a young guy, right? Like in your mind's eye, you think of someone in this workspace and you think just kind of creepy old white man.
Old white man or like really young woman who listens to too much true crime.
True, but he's neither. No. And really cool. Watch the video. He's got a good vibe. Really nice guy. We really get into the ins and outs of what he does in the funeral space. And honestly, I left this interview thinking, I'm so glad that people who come to Sturino Family Funeral, they have them, you know? They handle it all.
They do it all.
Yeah,
like he goes into detail of everything he's responsible for. And there's a lot that I didn't know. I just thought he threw a party.
Yeah.
I thought there was a separate person doing all this and that and the other. No, he's doing all of it. He's with you every step of the way. So listen in.
Yep. Yeah. Listen up.
And enjoy learning about your future funeral as Sturino Funeral Home.
Because we're all going to die.
You know, it is a fun funeral home.
Enjoy the episode.
Thanks, guys.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Like, I'm assuming you don't have a huge commute to work.
15 minutes, so.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, nothing too bad.
No, I used to have like a hour commute.
I used to too. I used to live in Milwaukee with Amy, and I worked here, so I would have to get up really early and then commute all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, those early commutes are no fun.
The only nice thing is if you're listening to a podcast, you get through like 2 a day.
Right.
Or audiobooks.
Yeah. Are you a music person, or are you more of like a spoken word, talk
More
radio?
music.
Okay. All right. What kind of music are you into?
Pretty much everything. Primarily, I would say like indie kind of folk music, and then rap too.
Okay. That was my playlist at the gym today. I'm a spoken word kind of person even at the gym. One of the girls here, dang it, Ingrid comes up every episode. I told her once that when I go to the gym, I listen to podcasts, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?"
It's different.
Yeah, for sure. But today I put on a early 90s 2000 hip hop because I needed it.
Well, I feel like depending on what you're listening to, like you probably were listening to like Dax Shepard or
I listened to that
Flightless
one.
Bird, and then I've been there listening to like a podcast about a serial killer.
A serial killer podcast or something.
I feel like the serial killer podcast could motivate you to like get your cardio better so you can outrun them better.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got hip dysplasia, so I'm not supposed to run. So hopefully whoever's chasing me down would be conscientious of that.
Yeah, that they would.
Oh no, I do. I walk every day.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I mean.
I walk every day with the dogs. So
Daryle, man, thanks for making time to come out. I know we reached out after we had been talking about doing something along these lines, and so when we started thinking about it, was originally I reached out because we wanted to do a live show and we were going to have a panel. Actually, Patty came in yesterday. Yeah, she was here yesterday, and it was really, really nice to sit down with her and meet her. And so the live show didn't work out, but it worked out a little bit better because Heather was like, we get to sit down with these people and have long form conversations.
Right, more of a one-on-one.
Yeah.
And then it'd be cool later on to like get you guys all together.
Yeah,
because you like have different aspects of the job, like, but you're all in the same little alcove.
It's like different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
You could almost say.
Yeah. Now that we have met you all, I think because so many of them came in feeling kind of nervous, like not really knowing what to expect, what we were going to ask. And then they all, usually, well, we haven't had a bad experience. Usually everyone's like, okay, this was nice. It was a conversation. We're kind of talking and meeting. Can I ask how old you are?
Just turned 30.
You just turned 30. How long have you been in this business? Well, let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
So I'm from Racine originally.
Yeah.
Which is where the funeral home is.
Yeah.
Born and raised my whole life. Went to college in Nebraska when I didn't think I was going to be doing funeral directing. So I got away for a little while.
Yeah. Huskers?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is going to sound very outside of me, but I played football on that football field. I know it's weird.
Really?
I was there for the International Thespian Festival while I was in high school.
Okay.
And then you played as a football player?
Yeah, and I played as a football. No, we just we had some downtime. It was during the summer, so I think everything was kind of off.
Right, everything's more low key.
Yeah, and so we made our way over to the big field or whatever.
Is that like a competition thing where it's all different high schools?
All different high schools come in, and they bring whatever their top show is.
Yeah, I've done I did a couple summer courses.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, you would get all the posts about it, and the Lead Center is where you performed.
Yes, right? Yeah. A beautiful theater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice. That sounds a lot more like me because I am not a sports kind of person.
I'm not that sporty
at all. But I remember we made our way onto the field, and they were practicing, and they were like, hey, you guys want to catch a couple balls? And we're like, we're all theater kids, so sure, let's do it.
We'll attempt.
Yeah. It was interesting. Our theater program had a lot of jocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is different.
It is. We don't have to get into this, but
Isn't that the whole premise of High School Musical?
It kind of, yeah.
It's very divorced from reality, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. This came up on one of the podcasts that we listened to, Armchair Expert, and they were talking about how, at least my high school at Bradford, 05 is when I graduated, so 01 to 05. it was kind of cool to do theater and choir. So like the captain of the football team was in choir as well. That's and cool. It was just like, it was a nice little mingling. Yeah. And then that's about all the football experience.
Take an elective too, so
that might be why.
And then it would be an easy one to transition to because there's not going to be a lot of like.
Yeah, but even in theater, there a lot of the leads that got some of the leads. They were like the popular jocks who got like a lot of those leads, and they were really good.
I'm going to say this before I get in trouble. My friend Rachel is from Nebraska, so. Rachel, you got your shout out.
You got to give her a shout out.
She like literally listens to every episode and then sends me a message after she's listened to the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, shout out, Rachel. Thank you for bringing us to Nebraska.
What did you go to school for? In
English.
English? What was your goal?
I originally had went for pre-med, and I realized kind of that I originally went for music, and I was trying to do pre-med along with that, and that wasn't working. So I dropped the pre-med part, and I thought if this is something I want to come back to later in life, I would rather start kind of from the ground up with a degree that pairs well with it, like a biology, chemistry, something like that, where you have a lot of overlap. And then music over time, I just realized that was not, studying music was not for me. It's a lot of solitary practicing, being alone in the practice room. And I was like, I'd hear my friends talk about, oh, you want to come over and work on that paper? And they'd say like, oh yeah, sure. And then we can hang out after. And for me, I never had that experience because it was, I'm supposed to go practice.
Yeah.
You can't come with, and you wouldn't want to come with anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
What instrument did you play?
Piano.
Piano.
Cool. Do you still play?
Kind of.
It's like riding a bike, right?
Right.
You can still dabble.
Still a little bit. I want to get more serious about it in my free time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of books I want to read, lots of pieces I want to learn to play, and only so much time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys are a young family, right?
Yes, sir.
So your wife, Amy, and
she's 29.
And remind me your daughter's name?
Emily.
Emily. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I know you guys have come through the shop, and that's kind of how we met. Yeah. And so, yeah, going back to when this was supposed to be a live show, we were like, you know, a funeral home director or someone who deals in this world, I think that would be really interesting to talk to. And lo and behold, we had one here.
Here we go.
Man, thanks thanks for making time. We did mention that you were very nicely dressed today, more than
not
us.
On video?
We are.
We are.
Yeah.
I feel like we're okay. You're the one who's a bum.
I know. I like literally just got out of the shower.
Well, I mean, if you had said that we were not on video, the tie would have came off real fast. Yeah.
But you did say it's part of your job. You kind of go into that. So you're from Racine. Yes, Sturino's kind of a pretty...
More so in Kenosha.
Common last name. Yeah, we've known a few.
We're all related.
Really?
It turns into a game of how far you follow back the family tree, but everybody can follow it back somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So if there is like if you say, oh, do you know so-and-so Sturino? I might not know him, but I can promise we're related. If you trace it back far enough, you can find like his great-great-grandpa and my great-grandpa were cousins or something like that. Yeah.
The Escobedos in Kenosha, even though it's not as common as a Sturino last name, we're the same way. Like I might not know who your parent is, but I guarantee you they're related somewhere.
It's not one of the more common last names too.
Yeah. Nick Sturino was a theater teacher at Bradford when I was there.
Does he?
I don't know if he's.
Does he have any kids that you
still
would know?
With us? I don't. I left after high school and then came back.
I have a cousin, Thomas, who does. He's pretty active in theater in the area.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Nice.
We saw him in Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, that's the show we took to Nebraska.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we took Sweeney.
Who was Sweeney?
Braxton Molinaro, who is also very active with Kappa here in town, and we actually need to be getting him on sooner than later.
That's from what I understand, one of the hardest baritone roles in all of musical theater.
He was very good. very good at it. And it was such a cool show, man, because it deals with, and I think this might get us kind of segueing into what we're talking about. It deals with adult subject matter, right? It deals with life and death. And sure, there is some like comedy that comes along with it, but at least we interviewed one of our theater teachers from when I was at Bradford. And one of the things that I said thank you about was they never shied away from certain topics and certain themes, because as young adults, it's hard to say shelter them, and then you get out into the real world and it's not necessarily like that.
I mean, kind of the whole time, I don't think you should shelter them. I mean, with Emily, even with my daughter, we'll tell her, like sometimes, like not everybody wants to be your friend. So she might want to go play with somebody, and we have to be like, honey, they might not want to.
Sure.
That's a part of life. And sometimes, or if one time there was recently, my wife I think Emily had to go to the bathroom. So we had to pull over, and my wife ran inside of a KFC, and I think she was maybe going to get like something to drink.
Sure.
Not stopping for food, but maybe just like, oh, got to run to the bathroom, get something to drink. And there was this guy who was being really rude to the KFC workers there.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And I guess my daughter the whole time was turning to my wife and going, he's not very nice.
Oh, I'm so happy about her doing
and then
that.
she would I guess she tried to say something, like Emily tried to say something to the guy.
Yeah.
Tried to be like, hey, you're not very, and Amy's trying to get her out.
No, girl,
Yeah.
do it.
But yeah, it's kind of on that line of trying to say, like, not all adults are nice people. Not all adults are safe.
Yeah.
That's something you have to, I mean, our parents taught us stranger danger. Going back so far, I would say there's never really a point where you can shelter them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're kind of learning
Turning
that
into
now.
a parenting podcast.
No. I know what you mean,
Well, we have families that are listening, and
Lots of families.
I always think that there's always a viewpoint of parenting that people think, but they don't want to say out loud, or they never thought about it that way. And I think that the people listening always have an open mind and want to hear all the different things.
Yeah, for sure.
But we talk a lot about families and raising children. I don't even have kids, but I'm around them all the time. So,
And kind of to go back to what the podcast is actually. In school, that was in mortuary school, they taught us that, like, if Uncle Frankie passes away in a industrial work accident, you don't get into the details with your kids, but it said you should be open and honest about your uncle was in an accident. He's not around anymore.
Yeah.
And to kind of pretend that nothing's happening, no exposure to death, no, this is what can happen. It said that's it's going to end up terribly for children as they get older, having never dipped their toes in that world at all.
Yeah. That came up with Patty when we talked to her yesterday. She was very for that exposure. Actually, it's interesting. My brother was in town. He's 7 years older than me, and we were talking about growing up. And he was like, and we were talking about some church buildings that we used to go to. And he brought up the funeral of a baby that happened.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, that was at that old church. And I did not, I think I came to the realization, this is probably my very first like memory from childhood, because I was young enough to kind of know what was happening. But I do remember very vividly sitting on like some steps that go to the basement while everything's happening. And, you hear the mother just wailing, crying, and just seared into my brain. And then when my brother brought that up, I thought it was somewhere totally different and I was older, but it wasn't. I was much younger, and it's one of the first things that I remember. And I'm like, all right, interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know where I was going with that story, but the exposure of it.
Yeah. And you have to, that's like, I knew a girl who her grandmother passed 2019. I remember she said, like, I don't know what to do. This is the first death in my family, which I thought was crazy because my parents are older. I had been to so many family funerals at that point that it was kind of weird to see the other side of someone who has so little exposure to them.
Yeah.
My first funeral wasn't until high school. Our neighbor's son passed in a car accident, and it was like, we're all high schoolers. It was the most traumatic thing that had ever happened to any of us. But before that, because my family's not that big, most of them live overseas, and my family's not all that close anyway.
Okay.
So we never had
There was
to
never
go.
a world where,
Yeah.
oh, great uncles, cousins, dog walker. Nope.
Sure.
Nope, none of that. So it's always interesting to hear. Like for me too, I think that, like if you think about Ralph's story about the funeral as a child, he didn't remember the dead body. He remembered everyone's emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like like this goes back to you fight in front of your child, you make up in front of your child, you show them how to grieve, because a lot of people don't know how to deal with their feelings. And when it builds up, that's how you have other things happen, like self-harm, because you have these emotions that you don't know how to talk about.
Well, yeah, because nobody wants to, you don't want to sit with it.
Yeah.
And kind of, that's why we try to distract ourselves.
Yeah. Or we don't want to burden someone else with our emotions because we've been taught not to.
I'm going to get on my, you're about to get me on my soapbox. Of,
Yes.
No, just all this individualistic culture of you don't owe them anything and you don't have to, and don't bring my day down with that. We're supposed to be working as a community. That's how our species survived. Was you worked together. And so to have like I have a friend who he'll be like, oh, I'm sorry about sharing X, and it's like, no, that's fine. That's what we're supposed to do as friends, as family, as a community. We're supposed to be there for each other, help with what we can, and sometimes, just being there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to always, and I think that was a hard thing for me to learn just because it's not very much how my mom is. But sometimes if somebody's telling you they're having a hard time, you don't need to give advice. And sometimes that is actually counterintuitive.
Yeah.
It's better to just have somebody sit there and listen.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably see that quite a bit, right? Because you see people in times of absolutely need. And how did you go from music, English to mortuary school? Where was that lead?
So my dad my dad's a funeral director.
Okay.
And he has done this my entire life.
Okay.
And he wanted me to go into the business with him. And at first I didn't think I wanted to, but what he did is he had actually, because it becomes such a, it's like nose blind to something.
Yeah.
When it's like a smell and then all of a sudden you don't smell it anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
When it's a part of everyday life and it's all the time, you kind of cease to see it anymore. Yeah. And so I left for college, and then when I came back, he had put an addition on to make it more accessible to people with disabilities. There's technically a ramp in the back, but it's crazy steep. And he actually had, I think, 2 or 3 people call in and say, we can't make it to the funeral because that ramp is too steep.
You can't get up
so
there.
He made, put the addition on, and I saw it one night, and I thought, he's put a lot of work into this. He's done a lot of work to build a business and all that. And I thought, even though I am undecided on it, I thought I owe him at the very least an honest attempt. Because if I try it and I say I don't like it and it's not for me, that's one thing. But if I never tried it and I never knew what it would have been like, I didn't think that was fair of me.
Gotcha.
So that was when I took I decided to try it, kind of try it out and see how it was. And ultimately what kind of got me to stick with it is I had a friend of mine from elementary school. He passed in 2019. And his everything was really hard for me because we were really close growing up. And I remember kind of having the thought of how cathartic it was for me. And I thought, if I can do this for other people, you know, maybe there is something to that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's always, you know, that's kind of the, I don't want to say cliche, but almost the cliche in the business is even if you're holding on by the thinnest of threads, you get a card from a little old lady who says thanks for everything, and that'll push you through the it'll extend the burnout a little bit later because you go, okay, this is what I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
Is to have this impact on somebody.
You're touching people's lives.
Right.
Yeah. So you come by it honestly then. Your dad, your entire life, you said. Did you grow up like in the funeral home and just
that was my first home, actually. That was where my parents brought me home from the hospital. Yeah. And then they moved shortly after I was born, but that was the first home, and you know, very familiar with it, had been there a lot.
Yeah. Wait, how did that work? It was like business in the front, and
it was
you guys lived in like a back.
Almost like a mullet. So no, there was, and because it was originally a house.
Oh, sure.
You're familiar with Racine Theater Guild?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have right next to it is the Wisdom Art Museum. Mrs. Wisdom, her husband, I think, is the one who originally owned the home that our funeral home is now.
Okay.
So that was a house originally, and then they added some stuff onto it, and then more additions now. But it was originally that home, so there's an upstairs that's still preserved with bedrooms. So there's an upstairs apartment, which is not uncommon with funeral homes a lot of the time.
Well, we already talked about it, but he has not seen My Girl.
I have not.
I haven't either.
What?
Yeah, but Steph loves that movie. My wife.
But that's how their house is set up. Like the basement is where they do the
like
processing of the body, the stuff, and then upstairs is where they do the funerals, and then she lives upstairs. And
exactly.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool setup. I was like, when I was a kid, that was my dream home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in the wrong profession.
I know I am.
Yeah.
No, my job, but similar to you, like I do what I do because I love making kids feel special, or like taking relief off of someone's shoulders.
Right.
So like with kids who don't have a hard time with haircuts, I just, talking to them and making them feel seen, and then kids who have a harder time helping their parents feel a little bit of normalcy, where it's like, we can get through this together. It just takes a couple extra steps, So it's like the service of people that makes you feel good.
Yeah, and it's not even the how would I say it? It's not even particularly what we are doing that we're attached to. It's the knowing, kind of like you said, that you've lightened somebody's load even a little bit.
Sure.
It's not that you necessarily that you love cutting hair, that the action of cutting hair is you're like, oh, this is my favorite thing ever. It's knowing that you're providing that service to people who need it, and you know that how much of a weight off of their shoulders it is for them to find a haircut for their kid where the kid doesn't have a meltdown, or where the parent feels like, oh no, this is their wheelhouse. It's okay that my kid's having a tough time because they know what to do.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, it's just like when I first met you guys, you wanted curtain bangs for your daughter, and I wasn't sure how I would do that where it would work for you guys, because knowing children, like, first of all, they grow fast. And then second, like trying to figure out a way where she's not going to be doing this all the time. So like when you guys came in last time, I had been watching videos and it popped into my head of how to do it where she would get that little bit of a curtain bang and it still be accommodating to her face, so that when she's playing or when she's,
Terrorizing the cats.
Yes. That she can see what she's doing and, the tail versus the pointy part.
Right. Which cat in particular she's terrorizing. Yeah.
I got to ask the obvious immature question, though.
Yep.
Man, growing up around death, how is that? Yeah.
You kind of... I was the weird kid.
Sure.
Because that was such a...
it's taboo, man.
Yeah, and it was such an... It's hard to be around something like that and not kind of come out the other side interested in kind of the darker side of things.
Yeah, for sure.
I always thought villains in movies looked way cooler.
They are.
Well, they are because they have a more colorful personality.
In what was it? Is it Sleeping Beauty, I think? The villain turns into a dragon.
Yeah.
The hero is just a guy with a sword. I mean, I didn't understand how anybody was ever rooting for the heroes in the movies.
Wouldn't you want to be a dragon?
Right. If I could be either a guy with a sword or I could turn into a dragon, I'm picking the second one.
Exactly. No, but that's...
Wait, did you have any siblings?
So I have 2 half-brothers who are much older.
Okay.
But growing up, no. I was an only child.
Okay.
Yeah. And what... Do you remember maybe one of your earliest memories of being around a deceased person?
I remember being really scared by it one time. My dad had me, it was just my dad and I I don't remember what was going on. And we had gone to the funeral home. He had to take care of something. And I couldn't find him. I remember kind of walking around calling out for him and I wasn't looking. And when I turned my head, there was an open casket right there. And I was like,
it's like a jump scare in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And on some level, you do know this is that person at their least dangerous, probably.
Sure. That doesn't matter.
Nope.
No.
Not at all. Not in that moment.
Well, especially that young, you're like, first of all, like I've always heard, like if you see a dead body, at first your brain thinks it's like a mannequin.
I've...
Never had that?
Never had that personally, no.
No. I mean, I've never seen like a random dead body laying in the field, so.
Right. I imagine that might be more true for when you see a deceased person somewhere you're not expecting to. You go to a funeral home, okay, this is what I'm going to get.
Yeah, you're kind of prepared for it.
Right.
Sure.
I think there was sad story in Racine. There was a lady who was deceased in a roundabout. And I think there was...
In the middle of the roundabout?
Yeah. And there were, I think people said when they were driving past, they thought it was a mannequin.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this happened a couple of years ago, I think.
Ugh.
It wasn't around Halloween, right? Was it?
I don't know if I can rule that out.
I'm just thinking, like, if you see someone in the middle, like even if there's a bench there, why would you not stop?
I don't think it took... too long for people to.
Well, because how many people have you driven by the side of the road who have their flashers on that you're like, not going there?
No, she wasn't in the car.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of things where I'm like, that's a trap.
Were those people who stop? Yeah.
I'm not, but my commute home is 8 minutes.
Sure.
Well, that too, yeah.
But I always want to stop if there's a bag because I'm like, what if there's kittens or puppies in it?
I think about that sometimes.
Yeah, right?
I'd much rather stop for a creepy might get abducted van than a bag.
Yeah,
I'm not opening the bag.
Yeah,
bro.
I don't need to know what's in that bag.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, so in grade school growing up, was it hard to be known as the funeral kids? Or you had, I mean, I'm sure you had your like core friends.
Yeah. So I had my core friends, and I would say that it wasn't too, I think as kids, because I mean, as a kid, the only profession of one of my friend's dads that I remembered was I had a friend whose dad worked for Nestle.
Oh.
So he had a ton of candy at the house. But other than that, I mean, people say, oh, his dad's an electrician. And I don't care if he's not.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, if he's not bringing chocolate home, I would not possibly care less. And so in that way, kids they don't care what your parents do. They care about kind of who you are.
Okay, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's really sweet to think about. I never thought about it that way.
like if you are fun, that's fine. I mean, I don't care. Your dad could have the most boring, exciting job that has nothing to do with kickball or tag.
Sure. Or just being available to play.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with nothing. I don't care about if your dad's a doctor or anything else. It doesn't matter to me as a kid. I just want to hang out. I would say it didn't really impact me negatively socially. Any negative social impacts were all 100% me.
Oh, sure.
You know, and so, and maybe some of that was informed by, maybe some of my weirdness did come from growing up around death.
Yeah.
But I think that, I mean, for the most part, again, going back to kids, that wasn't really something kids would talk about. Like, oh, what's your dad do? What's that like?
Oh, yeah.
You know, people would kind of find out, but I think a lot of it was like, oh, that's weird, but
I guess it's a job.
Yep.
Well, but then also, like you said, you had one friend who never been to a funeral until 2019. So you got a bunch of kids who are like, a funeral?
Right.
Funnel cake?
Yeah,
Your
don't
dad's
even know.
funnel cake?
Sure,
Don't even know what it is. No, I never found too much difficulty making friends from that. Like I said, it was all purely me and my issues.
Your internal. Was that kind of? I'm thinking of just the caricature of what's her name, Wednesday Addams, right? Is that kind of the vibe where you're just like, death comes for us all? And
I mean, it's a part of life.
Sure.
And it's, you know, you have to, it's like if somebody's dad was a chef.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you got to eat. I don't,
Sure.
It doesn't mean, and I think that's, I've never seen the show 6 Feet Under, but my dad has seen some of it. And he talked about what he loved about the show is it, I don't want to say humanizes us like we were dehumanized at some point, but it humanizes us in the sense of like, oh, these are just, it's regular people.
It takes away the stigma.
Yeah. It's people realize like, oh, they don't sleep in coffins. They don't, you know.
Well, we haven't gotten that far in the conversation yet.
No coffins.
Okay, cool.
I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, not even like a coffin cat bed from Petco?
No, not a coffin. Yeti sold it was like a casket cooler.
Oh, interesting.
They did one of it, and it auctioned for like $20,000.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Nice.
It was a one-time thing. Yeti collabed with Liquid Death,
And
so that's what it was.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say you had it, and I was like,
no.
That'd be so cool.
That would be the coolest, but no. I mean, but just like I was saying, is that I think, you know, the more you get to know somebody, that was kind of what was nice is people would find out kids would find out what my dad did after they knew me.
Yeah.
And so then it's more of a, oh, I never would have guessed, or, oh, this guy's a little weird, so maybe it kind of makes sense. But for the most part, I think kind of, and what 6 Feet Under and what we enjoy is when people can kind of see us separate from the job. You know, I'm still a guy who, I go to the gym. I like I have my TV shows that I watch. I like to catch up on, I'm not good at watching TV, but some, you know, I try to keep up on certain shows when they come out.
So, a normal guy.
Right. A normal guy who maybe has a bit of a, kind of an out there job.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more interested in the macabre than most people.
Yeah, sure.
More comfortable with it. But overall, just a guy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how different jobs do have a stereotype. Like with hairdressers. I remember when I told one of my teachers that I liked that I was going into hairdressing, she was like, oh, no, you're too smart for that. My dad kind of did the same thing. And it was like, what is that supposed to mean?
Right.
And then you get, you know, or you get lawyers. Lawyers are all liars and cheats, and they're always out for themselves.
Right.
So,
and then the more you get to know them, you're like, oh, this is and not to say that there aren't people like that in the world, in every profession, but I mean, you know, just because somebody goes, oh, you're too smart for this. Well, that's got being smart has nothing to do with what it is that I am interested in, with what I want to do, how I want to give back through my profession.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And that's the other thing that I talk to people about, and they'll say, do you like your job? And I go, I like it as much as I think I could like any job.
Sure.
I mean, I think truly at the core, you talk to a lot of people, what they would want to do is be wealthy to the point where you can
don't
pursue
have to-
art, you can pursue
sure.
this, you can, that's like dream.
Yeah.
But I think that this is the most rewarding for me. I find it strikes that middle ground of, like, I think being a childhood teacher would be tough because I enjoy kids. I think they're funny. I think they're fun to work with. I personally have a lot of patience for children because I look at it as they don't know any better.
Exactly.
But then, I've talked to people who are teachers and they say it's really hard when you have to call CPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have a kid who's being abused, And so you have that. Or if you're a doctor and you're working with a family and you can clearly tell the family is not taking care of this person the way they need to be, but you can't do anything about it. I find what I do kind of strikes the balance between positive interactions with families and giving back to them. And I kind of have a limited exposure to not the negative, but the neglect, the bad parts of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of it I can justify if somebody is being not nice. I mean, their dad just died.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though this person might not be my favorite person to work with at the moment, I can also give them the benefit of the doubt.
Sure. And have
say,
compassion towards
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point for
Well,
sure.
and the person's already dead, so there's not much you can do about the stuff beforehand.
Right.
So you're just there to take care of that person and that
try,
memory.
Yeah, and try to make what comes after this no harder than it needs to be. Because there's already some level of difficulty, no matter what. I mean, even with people who their mom or dad dies and they say like, oh, I hated them. They were never good to me. They were never good to my family. They were never good to my mom or my dad or whatever. That's still a tricky place to navigate.
Have you had those experiences?
Yeah. I've not me personally too much, but I've known people personally who their mom or dad dies and they go, this is weird because something horrible happened. They go, I was never close with them.
Sure.
But it's still a tricky place to navigate.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't mean like you and your parent relationship. Just
No. Yeah, I
families who
gotcha.
come. Okay.
That's what I meant. Not with families that I've
Okay.
worked with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Too much.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is a tricky place to be because at the same time you still have to stay professional. You still have to, navigate this road because there's still the job at hand as
and
well.
not feed the negativity.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
that's really hard. It's really easy sometimes to get sucked into someone else's negativity of a situation.
And what I almost try to do is to push people, if they're not getting along, to kind of say, I actually worked with a family once and I was so impressed and thankful for this woman. It was her two brothers didn't get along. And she told them, after the funeral, you guys don't ever have to talk again.
Sure.
But for these couple days, mom would want you to at least be civil to each other.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of the thing where if I ever try to, because I don't take sides, but I'll say like, hey, we have to get through this.
Yeah.
This is the mom has passed. This is the next roadblock. We have to work through it. And then if the whole family goes their separate ways after, that's fine. But you kind of need to be able to put that aside to do what's right.
In the moment.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. How long have you been doing this now?
I would say full-time about 5 years.
Okay.
Coming up on 6.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2020.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's kind of when it's, I mean, not that it wasn't full-time before, but it was being in school
Sure.
kind of affects how full-time you can be.
Yeah.
But so I would say full-time started 2020.
Gotcha. Being second generation, though, I mean, you've been privy to so much of it already. So you come in with a knowledge. I'm sure that probably helps so much in like school, right? Because you're in mortuary school, and maybe some of these people are very new to it, and you're like, been here since day one, guys.
But what is really cool, and kind of to whoever's listening, they did we had an exercise that we did in school where it was everybody who comes from a funeral director family stand over here. It's not nearly as many as you would expect. It's a lot of people who have no background, no family history, people who don't, I mean, we think of the stereotypical funeral director as an old white man in a suit.
Sure.
And that was so little of the people I went to school with.
Wow.
So for anybody who listens and thinks that's something I want to go into, but I don't know if I would fit in, I mean, I went to school with all types of people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the cool thing. It did help me on certain classes, but on others, I was right there with everybody else learning for the first time on some of it.
Yeah. I assume going into, and you're speaking to someone like going into or looking to pursue this, I assume there are certain things, and it goes without saying, but there's certain things that you got to be okay with, right?
Yeah.
One of them is working with a body.
Yeah.
And what's something that still maybe surprises you to this day about the profession?
I don't know about surprises, but I struggle deeply with eyes. That's one of my like personal aversions. So that was kind of that was a tricky one.
What do you have to do?
You have to close the eyes.
Okay.
You have something called an eye cap, and it's basically just like a contact with ridges in it to keep the, like when you see in movies when they just kind of
hold them down, they pull them down.
That does not happen.
Why? Because it's opening?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And sometimes you have people who are eye donors, and that's something you need. And that is my tough spot. But beyond that, not too much of it, because at least with this area, thankfully, vast majority of the people we work with, vast majority of the deceased, it's somebody's grandmother or grandpa or brother who has gotten old. Or unfortunately, it's maybe a young person who had cancer or a terminal illness. It's not, I haven't seen many violent deaths. Not to say they don't occur.
Sure.
But that's not the bulk of what happens. I would say probably one of the big things you have to really be okay with getting up in the middle of the night. Because if somebody's father passes away and they're on hospice at home, you have to go that night to bring them back to the funeral home. You don't let them just sit there the whole time. So that's something where, like I'm on call Wednesday night. And I remember the phone could ring any time. I remember I had literally just gotten into bed and the phone rang. And that's when, and you can't, I maybe did not want to get out of bed, but that's not about me in that moment.
Sure.
It's about, I have a job to do. And beyond that, I have a responsibility to the family because they're entrusting their mom, their dad, their whomever. So my wants, they don't factor in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something where you need to be okay to kind of pushing those things to the side. Sometimes you're going to go nights without sleep.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the way it happens.
How much do you actually do? Like, are you a mortician?
Everything.
You do everything?
Like the embalming. And
Yes, sir.
Like,
Does that,
Wow.
do you still smell the formaldehyde?
Yeah. You just kind of get used to it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You don't ever get nose blind to it, though?
No.
I've heard it's a very particular smell.
It is.
Yeah.
If you ever took high school biology, I mean, you
Yes.
probably.
I never did it. I never had that experience.
We did frogs, cats, and piglets.
Yep.
And the smell
Yeah, I
in the
never-
hallway when they had those things,
Oh man.
You knew.
you knew, and you're just like, ugh.
I remember in high school biology, senior year, we had to dissect a sheep eyeball. And
Sure.
Oh, I could see.
that was, I turned to my lab partner. I said, I can help with literally everything else, but this is, I can't do anything.
Oh, no.
Have you ever watched Ace Ventura?
Yes, but it's been a long time.
So when he's like touching his eyeball, that would freak you out.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I remember that part now.
Kids in, kids in elementary school like to do the thing where they would flip
Their
Yeah.
eyelid. Here, let me show you. No, I'm kidding.
No, I don't like that either, but I'm totally comfortable with touching my eyeball.
I'm comfortable now because I have contacts, even though I'm not wearing them
Yes.
today. But like when kids would do that on the playground was like, I'm getting queasy just even thinking.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, it's so funny because like as a kid, I was that kid that thought my eyeballs were gonna pop
Really?
with like anything. Like don't touch my eyes. I also thought my belly button would open and my guts would fall out.
I never had that.
Oh,
thought.
all the time.
Yeah,
I'd never
me
wanted
neither.
to touch my belly button because I was
weird.
afraid that it was gonna just unravel like a balloon knot.
I'm very grateful that I've never had that experience.
Yeah.
No, me too. I've never had
Yes.
an actual happen.
Wait, do you have an innie or an outie?
I have an innie and I also have a sad belly button.
Oh, it kind of droops a little bit
It's
like
a droopy, sad one.
Gotcha. I have an innie too, but I would think like
Wait, do you have an innie or an outie?
Yeah.
Any.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Normal squad. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's called Our Parents Went to a Good Hospital.
Good hospital. Yeah, I had like cousins and stuff who had like an Audi, and that's when I would think like, okay, that's gonna burst at any moment. But not for an innie.
No, I
feel
thought
like.
it would just like open up.
Or the other experience that I'm very thankful I don't have is a lot of people talk about they have dreams where their teeth fall out.
Mine. Those are
Yeah.
mine.
I think I've had one like that once, and I'm very thankful that's not a recurring.
Oh wow. No, I
Usually
don't
they
think I
say
have.
that you have those dreams when you're worried about how you look.
Really.
Yeah. It's a vanity thing, like a subconscious vanity thing. So that tells a lot about me since I have those all the time. That and the falling dreams.
I don't have those. I have a ton of finals are tomorrow for a class I've never been to.
Nice.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Deadlines.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one really stresses me out where it's like,
That's
I'm sitting
mine.
there and I go, Thursday I have my bio final. I haven't gone since the second week.
Wow, that's interesting. I have that style dream too. It's the only real dream that I remember, and it probably stems from a little bit more of like my last job trauma. But a little bit about me. I was a music director at a pretty big church in Texas for a long time. And the reoccurring dream that I have is I can see I'm at the church. It's a big auditorium. I could see the back clock and it's blinking like 1:56 because we started at 2 p.m. for our service. And it's blinking like 1:56 and nothing's done. None of the lyrics are up, and it's just such a stressful dream. And I have it once a month.
That's the only similar dream I have to that is like it's always work related, and I'm standing behind the desk, and there's so many people, and there's people checking out, and the phone's ringing, and I can't get out from behind the desk.
It's trauma. It's just a trauma.
Well, and that's the thing that I think with this job, I think one of the most stressful pieces that a lot of people don't think about is literally every single step can go disastrously wrong. Like not just a little wrong,
Sure.
a disaster. And, you can have issues with if you forget to send in the obituary to the paper in time. You can have that. You can have, you forget to call in military honors and somebody's dad who was in the Marines for 35 years gets no military honors as and the family is irate and you only get one chance to do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's, or, this has never happened to me,
Sure.
but not calling the cemetery, not getting anything worked out with them. So showing up in the cemetery goes, what are you doing here?
Oh no.
So these are huge.
It's like a wedding.
Yes.
And no one will really remember too much about it unless you fuck up. I mean,
Yes.
you mess up.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
And so,
Now I got to put an explicit thing on this now.
and so the thing is, I think maybe that's where my deadline fear comes from.
Yeah. But that's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
Because you're literally dealing in life and death. But those are, I wouldn't even thought of that. You know, when I think just a layperson thinks about your job, it's all the things that you've kind of mentioned already, but not the, all the extra stuff that you have to have on your plate.
Yeah, that's the really, to me, that's the mainly stressful thing.
Do you have a team of people that you work with?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or it's mostly you? Look at that face. He's like, mostly me.
No. So what it is I have, it's my dad and another gentleman are the funeral directors, and we have an office manager. But a lot of the way, like the cemetery and all of that getting scheduled, that is, that's on you as the director. So let's say 3 of us are funeral directors, and you're working with the Johnson family, and you're working with the Franklin family, and I got the Robinsons. Robinsons are my responsibility. It's on me to make sure I've sent in the obituary. It's on me to make sure I've called the cemetery. I've ordered the vault. I've done all these things. So even though I have a team of people working with me, you also have your family to worry about. You have your family to worry about getting your stuff sent in. We can't always be checking to make sure the other person's doing their job.
Doing it, yeah.
So, and if you were to not do it, you can't say to a family, "Oh, my coworkers didn't remind me."
Yeah.
Sure.
So that blame does lay on you.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of the deadline related paranoia comes from.
I would make an anxiety list. I'd be like, first you do that, then you do this, then you do that, and then check it off as I go.
Sure.
We have a checklist, but
I mean, working it's definitely not the same, but managing a salon and like making orders or calling people back. Like even now, I'm like, oh, I didn't call that person back.
Yeah.
Right. And then what if they say, oh, this was for my
daughter's bat mitzvah.
Yeah, and now we have no haircut. And it's that impact of, especially with events where it only happens once.
Yeah.
And to try and make sure that everything is perfect.
Hopefully once.
Yes. Perfect or as close to perfect as it can be.
Did you say hopefully once?
Probably thinking about weddings and...
Oh.
Well, no, not just weddings, but like, you never know.
I thought of...
Someone comes back to life.
I've never seen it happen.
No, but...
I've heard stories where funeral directors in other states will get a call to pick somebody up, and somebody didn't check well enough, and that person's alive still.
Sure.
I think that would... I think if a person woke up, I think I would say, hey, my heart can't handle it. I think I got to find a new job. I think that would be...
I think it was like the 1800s. They would install...
The bells?
The bells and then like a tube into the coffin because so many people were being buried alive.
Which weirdly is not a fear of mine at all.
No?
I know a lot of people get really afraid of being buried alive. That's not a... It's never registered for me.
I think my fear is trying to dig myself out and breaking all my nails on the wood.
Oh, my Lord.
Beetlejuice.
Sorry.
Shout out. Are you claustrophobic?
Kind of.
Okay.
Not really. I would say like extreme in the sense of I'm not afraid of
tight spaces.
like an elevator maybe, but cave diving story, I get sweaty palms where it's like, oh, somebody squeezed through and you see.
Oh, sure.
Like that guy who got stuck.
Yeah, where I think that's the stuff where like when it's pressing on you, that's when I get kind of claustrophobic.
Yeah, sure.
Not so much, oh, I'm in a small elevator.
Yeah.
I'm in a whatever.
Or someone put a blanket over your head.
Yeah, that's not going to bother me. But kind of the idea of being in a super tight space like the cave divers have, you know.
When you said the hopefully only once thing, there's an episode of Friends where Ross and Monica's grandmother passes and they rush to the hospital and they go in, they say their goodbyes and she passes. And then one of the characters wasn't in there at the time, so he comes and he wants to give her a kiss on the forehead or something. And she wakes up. And then the nurse comes in and she's like, this almost never happens.
Almost never.
And then they run out to the waiting room and the parents are like, what happened? Well, Nana's not passed. She's present. And then the kicker is, or the tagline is like, she may have passed. We're looking into it. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's perfect.
Do you have a favorite part of the job? Like one of the things that you're responsible of doing that you're like, haha, I can't wait to do that again.
I think the closest I would be able to say is kind of making arrangements with the family and getting to know them and them kind of, because I'll try to make it as easy as I possibly can. And I think to see like slowly throughout the course of the meeting, you kind of see the anxiety and the stress dissipate because you're taking care of all these things. Or if somebody says, oh, what about this? And being able to have answers for them where they might not have had answers before. I think that I would say is probably my favorite part.
Yeah. Being there for the family.
And just at least helping them to relax a little bit and know that, okay, this isn't going to be as hard as I thought it was.
Yeah. I'm sure that's probably one of the weighing on the family, because this might be their first time ever having to deal with this. And I'm glad they can kind of come to you guys,
Right.
And you guys have the answers.
Somebody who's done it a ton.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you have somebody who's never gone through it, somebody who does it for a living, and kind of being able to give them the answers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Going back to the call at midnight, what is your time frame? Like, what's the time frame of needing to get the body?
In regards to like what kind of how soon do we need them to embalm for them to look presentable, or how soon do we need to be there just in general?
Both.
All of that. Yeah.
So you get a call. It's 12 o'clock at night.
We try to be there less than an hour.
Okay.
Sure.
I would say as far as getting somebody ready, if you have to embalm them, the sooner the better. If somebody has to sit for too long, that can kind of make things
soggy.
Well, not exactly the word I was going for.
Yeah.
You kind of have issues with the circulatory system.
Oh.
So that can turn into, that can make it more difficult to embalm. The primary, if somebody is in the decomposition process, the primary, I'll call it the catalyst or the mover of that, is blood. And so when you embalm, you're trying to get as much blood out and replace it with as much embalming fluid as possible. So the longer somebody's been passed, you have more, it's more coagulated, it's thicker.
Oh, wow.
So that is where it kind of makes an issue. And it's not to the, like, oh, you have to get them started in 15 minutes or it's gonna, but like somebody says, oh, a person had passed and nobody's claimed them for a week, even if they've been in a
cooler.
Yes, even if they've been in a cooler, it's still, that's gonna kind of affect what you can do. As far as just getting there in general, we try to do it as fast as possible.
Sure.
I try to think, if that was my mom, if that was my dad, how long would I want them? The only time that it really can turn into an issue, hospitals, because they're so big and they have so much to go through. So they might not release the body right away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They might not release somebody, so you can't go and get them yet. So hospitals are kind of, that's up in the air, but if it's anywhere else, we try to be there less than an hour.
Who's doing the, who does an autopsy?
That's the medical examiner.
Oh, okay. So that's the medical examiner.
And that's not theirs.
If they want an autopsy or it's warranted, correct?
So
not everyone needs one.
So not everyone needs one. Not everyone gets one.
Okay.
If the medical examiner does not order it, you have to go to a private pathologist, and that is thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure you know a few.
I don't, because the cost is prohibitive enough that usually, in defense of the medical examiners, they have a pretty good eye for when it's needed.
Yeah.
And I can't speak to, there are issues of where the autopsy report might say something's an accident, the family feels it's a homicide. And that's something completely different.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sure.
But usually in the event of an autopsy, it's going to be somebody who's pretty young, somebody's grandmother who had Parkinson's for 27 years and is 97 years old. That person is not going to get a medical examiner ordered autopsy just because they feel the cause of death is pretty fairly apparent without having to do
With
much
age.
more
Yeah.
investigation.
So if you're going to murder someone for their money,
Don't.
don't. But if you're going to, pick a 97-year-old grandma with Parkinson's.
But they will still look. They will still look and see.
Yeah, like if she's 97 pounds
Yeah.
and has bed sores, obviously.
Right, and that's kind of thing is they will look at what's the circumstances surrounding.
I want to ask, and I don't necessarily know if we will keep it in or if we should keep it in, but I want to know what the process is. I want to know what the embalming process is.
We'll do that one off camera. Yeah, off record.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
More or less, like I said, it's basically. Yeah, we can do it here. You're taking an artery. You're pushing embalming fluid through the artery. You're taking a vein that's nearby. You're opening the vein to allow the blood to go out. And that's most of it. Now, there are like judgment calls and stuff, there's things that they teach us in school that are a lot more difficult to translate to right now.
Yeah.
But the basic process is getting as much embalming fluid in there and getting as much blood out. And the other thing that people say, there is talk of, well, I don't want formaldehyde in the ground. There's toxic chemicals. And that's like kind of a green argument against embalming, and not to discredit any of that. But once somebody is embalmed, that formaldehyde is part of a chemical reaction. It's not the same compound anymore. I mean, if you look at table salt, if you take raw elemental sodium, I think it explodes when you throw it in water.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Sodium in salt, like table salt,
sodium chloride,
vastly different.
Sure.
So even though formaldehyde is present, once it's gone through the reaction, it's different. Now, what it becomes, I can't say, but it's not one-to-one the exact same. Is the
argument the green argument because so many people have been embalmed? It's in the earth now, and that's releasing back into the earth.
And it's going into the water table.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Because my friend used to work at a cemetery, and she kind of gave us a tour of everything that's going on, and like we went into the area where they have like the natural burials, and then we got to see.
That's my personal interest.
Really? My mom. Hold on, wait. So she showed us all the stuff. It was really cool.
Wait, what's natural burials? As in just like pass in the ground?
So,
what does that mean?
It's basically everything is done with biodegradable material. So no metal casket. It's usually honestly made out of like wicker.
Oh, wow.
And then no vaults are required in that section because usually a vault is going to be concrete or metal or something reinforced like that that's not going to break down.
Sure.
And the reason for vaults is to support the earth above somebody's casket. If you've ever walked through a cemetery, you notice how you didn't fall through the ground.
Sure.
That's what the vault's for. It's to help kind of prop that up, because otherwise, if you had a casket, as the casket would decay, it wouldn't be able to hold up anymore. So
there's going to be a cavity. Sure.
Right, and it's going to fall. So with the green burial space in cemeteries, they don't require that. I'm sure there's different rules for who can just kind of walk around and how that goes. But so it's like a wicker biodegradable casket. I don't think you're allowed to bury somebody with any medical devices, like exterior ones.
Sure.
But it's trying to make as much of it able to be returned to the earth as possible.
Human compost.
Yeah.
That is something I am not 100% aware on. I know it's not a service we provide.
No, but it sounds like human compost.
I think human composting is a little more open air.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, so my mom is obsessed
tricky.
with her death.
Okay.
She has some OCDs, and a lot of text messages come from her, and they're like, "Morning, Heather. When I die, I would like to be hydro-cremated. That's when they blah, 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 blah."
Alkaline hydrolysis.
And then she says, "Mom," like that's
It's like a
it's like a letter. And then I'll be like, "Cool," because I don't know what else to say to her.
Right.
And then a few days later, I'll be like, "Never mind. That one's very expensive. I want to do this instead."
Technically illegal in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there's your rebuttal.
Well, she doesn't live in Wisconsin.
Oh, dang.
where does she live?
Illinois.
Maybe illegal in Illinois.
She's gone through a lot of different decisions on what she wants to have done. And I'm just waiting for because my grandmother was known for changing her will at a whim. Like the final copy of her will actually left out a bunch of family, not that we have a big family, but I have 2 cousins and they weren't in the will.
Okay.
But my brother and I were.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for my mom's to just kind of level out to the point where she just doesn't have the energy to go.
Or it at least oscillates fairly small. Like, I'd like to be buried in this space in the cemetery. Oh no, bury me 2 spaces down instead. You go, okay, we kind of have it narrowed down.
I wish it was that detailed. It's more like I want to be cremated because I don't want to take up space.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. I mean,
And you can make a
well, it's going to be my
jewelry out of
millennial.
it.
Yes, it's going to be my millennial inheritance.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully, maybe I can make her the urn. I don't know.
That's something you can do.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
We've had people bring in Folgers coffee cans before.
Really?
Sure. Yeah.
I want to be in Prince Albert. You have Prince Albert in a can?
What?
You don't know the joke?
No.
So it used to be a phone call you'd make to someone, and Prince Albert was like, I don't know what it actually was. My grandma I remember seeing it in her house, a can of Prince Albert, but I don't know what it is.
You don't know if it's like coffee or...
I think it's just I mean, it could be pickled herrings. I don't know. But hey, no kidding. But you would call and say, do you have pickled Albert? Prince Albert in a can? Why, yes, I do.
Oh, you better
Let him out.
Yeah.
Or is your refrigerator running?
You better go and catch it. Yeah.
Let me preface my next question with saying you're younger than I, in my mind's eye, thinking of the funeral home director, an older man,
Right.
Older person. Are you for or against the natural evolution of the funeral process? Like we just talked about composting or being put into those tree bags. Like what are we feeling as a younger person in this industry?
I am for whatever helps somebody deal with death the easiest.
Okay.
I think if what helps you do that is having a full bronze casket and open casket and 2-day visitation and funeral, go for it. Okay. If your thing is going to be natural burial, then I'm for that. I think it's and I think that's some of the trouble that funeral directors got in the past was trying to push one way or the other. Oh, you should do this, you should do that.
Okay, sure.
I kind of think whatever is, 1, most helpful, and 2, most true to what the deceased would have wanted.
Sure.
That's what I'm really big into personally. I don't agree with somebody who says, oh, well, my husband would have wanted to be cremated, but I don't care. I'm going to have him embalmed and viewed.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
People have their reasons, and I'm not trying to denigrate anybody's custom or practice or what their family does or did, but I kind of look at it as, what would this person have wanted?
Yeah.
Because I look at it as, I would want my wishes respected.
Yes.
If I say I don't want to be cremated, then I would hope my family would have enough respect for me when I'm gone that they would say, we're going to go by what he wants. We're going to follow his wishes.
Sure.
What are your wishes? Do you have that set out yet? Or does it change depending on, like, do you see a funeral and you're like, hey, I really like that?
I think something low key. I think I'm a very low key person. I'm not a very pomp and circumstance and fanfare kind of person. I lean a lot more. I would probably do everything backwards, to tell you the truth. Like a private family funeral, then bury my body, and then have a visitation where everybody can come by and kind of hang out and mingle and talk. And this is what I liked about him. This is what I didn't like. He was a great guy. He was a dirty, rotten so-and-so.
Oh, sure.
And I think my thing is, I want to be at rest.
Yeah.
I would want to be laid to rest first.
Yeah.
Let the people who are closest, who need to see me, let them see me. And once I'm at my rest, then have the visitation and have people come through and share all their stories. And
yeah, not necessarily needing to be the spectacle of the
or
of the
all
moment.
the transporting from one place to the
I
other
don't
to the
need
other.
any of that.
Well, because funerals are not cheap.
No.
And from my friend who used to work at the cemetery, like,
Was it a cemetery in the area?
it was in, I don't know if it's technically Vernon Hills or Buffalo.
Oh, so
Grove.
Illinois though.
Yeah. Okay. So she told me, if you buy your, this is like it's like almost 10 years ago. She's like, if you buy your cemetery plot right now, Heather, it'll be the cheapest you'll ever have it. And if you die before you pay it off, you don't have to finish.
This is true.
And I was like, huh. But at the time, I was more interested in traveling than paying for my
death.
But I also don't want to be
Sure.
I don't want to be buried. I want to be cremated. But
Cremate Heather.
yes, well, it's on record.
I gotcha.
But what was the other thing she told me? Oh, so her mom, she's had a lot of death in her family. Her mom passed unexpectedly, and she's, living in my spare bedroom. Has no idea I don't know if she was at that point. But anyway, she doesn't have a lot of money, whatever. She wasn't expecting this because we're 10 years ago, so she's probably 25, 26. And she had to pay for the cremation and everything you have to pay for up front. And a lot of people don't realize that life insurance isn't for your funeral. I had another friend who passed, and she didn't have life insurance. She had car insurance.
Wow.
And so when she passed, that's when I got my life insurance, because they were like, there's no money to cremate her. There's no money to, they had to
Life insurance does help a lot. And that's honestly, people use a lot of that to pay for the funeral.
Okay.
You can also do an assignment of proceeds. So if dad has a $300,000 life insurance policy, you can assign the proceeds. So what happens is the life insurance company will write a check out to the funeral home first.
Oh.
And then you get the remainder, and the funeral home's taken care of, and you don't have to worry about
Oh,
that.
that's nice.
Not all funeral homes do require payment up front.
Okay.
That is something, unfortunately, we did have to do because people stopped paying us.
I can see that.
And it's unfortunate for some to ruin it for others, but that's kind of where...
And I totally get that, because it's like out of sight, out of mind too.
Right.
And it's like, what are you going to do? It's already done. Are you going to pull them back out of the ground? I don't think so.
I don't even think legally you can say, we're not going to do anything until we get the money.
Yeah.
Because it's you can't hold somebody's dad or grandmother hostage.
Sure.
But it does kind of thread that weird line, because going back to talking about me just being a guy, I still have to buy groceries.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still have to pay rent, pay gas and light,
You have a kid.
Yeah, I have a kid. So even though, I agree, if I could do funerals for free, I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not even that I can't. It's that if I do a funeral for free and somebody's like, oh, it was really helpful. Well, if I go to the grocery store, all right, sir, your total's $150. Well, I don't have $150, but I really made a difference to this family.
Yes.
I'm not leaving with the groceries that day.
That's just like exposure. Like, well, I'm going to post about this online.
Yeah, that's not paying my bills.
No.
And so it really is an unfortunate spot to be in when because they're not cheap. And to kind of be like, no, I need the money. But going back to being a regular person, it's still a job. I still have to get paid for what it is that I'm doing. And it's unfortunate because, some people who are not big fans of my profession, they'll say, oh, I'm sorry your dad died, now give me money. And it's,
that's not how it is.
That's kind of an oversimplification, but it's also, unfortunately, that's how life works.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of...
You're providing a service.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, they don't have to have a funeral.
Well, that too. But I understand to some people, like I said, I think you should do what is most helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's also, I think some of it is understanding that it's not, we don't love it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Like you don't like that I have to ask you for this money right now. I don't like that I have to ask for it right now. But unfortunately, it's got to be done. It's something that
it's business.
Yeah.
Right.
We feel that for sure. I'm glad we kind of segued into this part of the conversation because I was actually going to bring it up. But yeah, I feel that there are times where we have a certain price for our services, and a family of 7 comes in, right? That's a big price tag, and that's a big bill, and from time to time we do try and okay, we can maybe discount you guys a little bit, but there are still things that need to be paid for and stuff. So that's what I was going to ask you. What are some things that people may not think about in your profession that do have to get taken care of? So obviously there's rent or lights and gas and that kind of thing, but are there extra, your supplies can't be cheap?
No. Embalming fluid or caskets, you still have to, even if we're waiting for life insurance from the family, we still have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, and then
operating, paying part-time people to come in and work to help make sure everything goes off well. These are all kind of unforeseen expenses. You were saying, Heather?
do you have a biohazard disposal fee?
We don't charge that, but it's something we do have to do.
No, that's what I was
That
going
you
to
have
say.
to
You
pay.
have to pay that.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a company called Stericycle, and you schedule pickup of medical waste, and they weigh it, and they charge you based off of that. And that's not something you don't, I don't think you say to the family. I think that's kind of bad taste to bring that up, but it is one of those things that
Expenses.
it's an expense that people aren't thinking
Well, it's all
about.
Yeah, of course.
situational. Obviously, when they come to you and you're planning the funeral with them, you're not going to say, okay, well, then there's a disposal fee, then there's this. But realistically, just like every other business, you have bills to pay and you have certain procedures you have to do.
Right.
And hello, you went to school for this.
Well, that too.
And it's you didn't, that wasn't free.
Right.
So even I was going to call it cemetery school. What is it?
Mortuary school?
Seminary.
Oh, seminary.
seminary.
Yeah.
That's not free.
It's not. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for
because he
sure.
went there for a minute,
I would say
Just for a little while.
he dropped
For
out.
a little while. But I am ordained. I'm ordained. I've done a few things here and there.
UniversalLifeChurch.com.
Not the Universal Life Church. That always bugs me a little bit when
I'm going to go get ordained now.
I would do weddings from time to time, and I used to even DJ weddings from time to time, and so I would DJ a wedding, and I'd meet the officiant, and be like, "Oh, you're the officiant. Where'd you go to school? What seminary did you go to?" And they'd be like, "Oh no, dude, I just hopped online last week and got $50 worth of credits." I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I spent so much money and so much time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad we brought that up, because that's one of the things that I think people may not think of. And I hate to equate it to this kind of thing, but I feel like that kind of person who gets upset that you're having to charge your fees, hopefully we can put this information out there. It's not just your fee.
Right.
It really is things that need to get paid out of this money.
Right. And that's what makes it so unfortunate when people would not pay us, because it's not just that we are behind for our labor. It's that if we ordered that casket, okay, now we're out on, we paid with money we didn't have.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
The other thing in defense of those people, though, is, as with every profession, there are bad actors. There are funeral directors who are out there for the money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're actually heavily regulated. And that is, so there was a woman, Jessica Mitford, I think she was from the UK. She wrote a book called The American Way of Death. I think this was in the 70s. And it was an expose on the very unethical way funeral homes were ran back then. There was no price list. There was no, you weren't told how much anything cost. You were told, oh, you have to buy XYZ thing. Oh, your dad's life insurance policy was $10,000. Weird. That's, the funeral was $9,900. Oh, your mom, who had the exact same, she only has $5,000. Well, her funeral's $4,800. So there were these things, and there are, I would say, some funeral directors still who kind of are responsible for people having that attitude.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where people, I mean, it is much easier to conflate an entire profession with one type of a person.
Sure.
That's a lot easier than having to sit and think every funeral home is different.
Yeah.
Every person in this job is different. And even the same funeral director day to day, I mean, maybe one day he was really harping on the money to a family because maybe his daughter just got a hospital bill that's way higher than they expected. So that same guy who didn't seem very greedy or money hungry to another family, he could seem that way to a different family for a different reason entirely. And that's so much harder to do mentally, is to think of the nuance in each one of them. But I think, to go back to the point, one, not only do we not like having to ask, but most of it is not our fees. Or not most of it. A good part is our fees, but also we are having other expenses. We're paying for this, and it's time that's going towards setting all of this up.
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's not, like you said, it's not just our expenses we're trying to cover or just our services, but it's all these other things that people don't think of.
The labor.
Yeah.
Labor
Yeah.
and when somebody is cremated, medical examiner has to view the body, make sure there's nothing anybody's getting away with that they shouldn't be.
I've read a couple of those.
They charge for that. There is a fee related to the medical examiner viewing a person for cremation and issuing the permit. So if somebody doesn't pay the bill, we've paid that for free. We've paid, if you put an obituary in the paper, which is not cheap anymore, we've paid that for free.
Do you have to have an obituary in the paper?
No.
Okay.
No. But some people say, oh, yeah, Grandpa always got the paper, so let's put it in the paper.
Yeah.
Well, then if that bill is not paid, well, then that's, whereas if they charge us $350, we charge the family $350 for cash advances. So it's obituary, death certificate, medical examiner, those kinds of things. But if you don't pay us at all, even though we wouldn't have made a profit on it, we're now making a loss on it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many things that kind of go into that.
What's the average cost of a funeral if you're allowed to go into that?
I would assume it varies.
Varies wildly, I would say, from city to city.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes even funeral home to funeral home. I mean, there is a if you were to go to Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, find the most expensive and the cheapest, you would see a large gap.
Yeah.
And the other thing is people say funeral. Well, when somebody's cremated, that's called a memorial service. So are we including cremations, or are we talking about body present with casket and cemetery?
Sure.
So it does get kind of trickier to answer, but I'd say for a service, including all types of services, so memorial service, traditional funeral with cremation to follow, I would say you're looking around 6,000 to 8,000.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, like 5,000.
Yeah.
Because like I remember when my friend, to get her mom cremated, and I think she was living in Mississippi or Louisiana, I can't remember which one. It was going to cost her between 5 and 8.
Okay. Was she having a service at all?
No.
Oh.
I don't know the circumstances because there were other things going on. It was a overdose.
Okay.
So I think there was other things because her mom was young-ish. I don't know exactly, but
eight seems
high.
Steep.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. Maybe it was also like shipping it out to her.
That will get you.
Okay. So I think because she was up here, we were in Waukegan.
Okay,
and
then
Mom's down south.
that's absolutely where that's coming from.
Yeah.
So anytime a person is flown, the airlines all require that person be embalmed. There's one airline that doesn't require it, and I think it's
Spirit. No. Sorry.
No, I think it's I don't know the name. I think it's Jerusalem Air.
Oh, because Jewish.
Because that's not.
It's a religious thing.
It's a religious thing. It's a religiously owned corporation, and I think it is if a Jewish person wants to be buried in Israel, they will not require that person be embalmed so that they can fulfill their religious obligation.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's more like an Orthodox Jewish person.
It's the only one I know of that does that, but every other airline is going to require a person be embalmed. So you have the embalming you have to pay for. They have to get all the paperwork, pay for the airfare, then fly the person out, and then the funeral home picks up the other end. So if it sounds steep, it is absolutely because her mom was flown out to her.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember that was like the big thing was like, how am I going to get this money? I only have this much, and her brother wasn't going to help or something like that. And then her dad had already passed, and they moved so much, so they were never really close to family. Like now she's closer to her dad's side of the family, and she's enjoying that. But it's just all the things that you don't think of that you might need to do before you pass or someone else passes. Like I was talking to my friend this weekend, and she doesn't have a will set up with her husband yet, and they have 2 small children. And it sucks because I know my dad does not like to talk about anything death. My mom's already told me what to do for his funeral. But my mom, on the other hand, is absolutely obsessed.
Yeah.
She's hyper focused on it. So, and I know a lot of people have that same mentality of not wanting to talk about it until they're older. Or, because you never know what's going to happen.
See, and that's what I was going to say is it gets dicey because by never talking about it, you're just making things harder for those who have to pick up the pieces when you're gone.
Sure.
And it doesn't even have to be go into a funeral home and get everything prearranged. But I mean, somebody should know what you want.
Yeah.
You should have a notebook or a Post-it note just stuck somewhere. This is what I want. And at least somebody can say, hey, it takes out the idea of what would dad have wanted. You can go, oh, dad has it right
here.
Sure,
it's all.
He wrote down, he might not have met with anybody, but I know I can go into the funeral home with confidence and say, this is what my dad wanted. This is what I want to do.
Sure.
And so you don't have to have 4-hour-long kumbaya going over everything, but I think everybody should make sure that there is somebody that they trust to carry this out and make that person aware.
Yeah.
Write it down somewhere and have it accessible so that if the unforeseen happens, you have something to go off of instead of kind of leaving your family to stumble through the dark
Yeah.
and try to figure out the next step.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good way to kind of land this plane. We don't want to take up too much more of your day.
Oh, I do. I got more questions.
Oh, we can talk more.
But yeah, we came across that a few years back. My dad went through some pretty hefty medical situations. And when we were in that, we quickly realized, and it was very unexpected, and we quickly realized that he doesn't have a will, and we don't know what he wants or needs, or even even burial plots. Actually, I think they did have some burial plots because they have some family stuff around here. But we quickly realized that's something better off to do when everyone is in a good state of mind. Everyone is still talking, So death unfortunately brings out the worst in people at times, or the best in people. But mainly we see families kind of getting into it in this time. And that's one thing that we did not want to, we don't think would happen, but we didn't want to go down that road. So we started early.
And that's kind of very nice tie-in way back to the beginning. But kind of like I said, you don't want it to be any harder than it has to be.
Yeah.
It's already a tough time. You want to do what you can to make it as easy as possible for those who are left behind.
Yeah.
Last question from me, at least. What is the funnest or weirdest request you've gotten for a funeral? Or has it been basically like kind of basic every time?
I would say the most fun is when somebody's like, you see like someone will get like a cigarette tucked in the shirt pocket.
Yeah.
They're buried with a lighter in the hand.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Yeah.
This is for later, or they maybe, if they
It's
were,
part of their personality.
Yeah, where they kind of send them off with something that was important to them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Dad he always gave me $5, so he always carried $5 just in case. So we're gonna put $5 in his pocket.
Or they put puppies in there with them.
Well, I was going to say, one of my favorite plots in the cemetery, it was the person's stone, and then they had 2 dog stones.
That's cute.
And the dogs were buried in there with them. Because they also it's a pet cemetery and a person cemetery.
I also like, even though it is very sad, I like when little kids will write notes to their grandma or grandpa and put it in the casket with them. I think
That
that's
would make
very
me
sweet.
cry.
My mom told me a story that when my maternal grandmother passed away, I don't remember this because I was much younger. It was the funeral or viewing of some sort. And at the end of the night, because she lived with us, at the end of the night when we were all kind of leaving, she tells me that I went to the casket and I was like, all right, Grandma, we got to go. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Oh, you told her to come with you?
Yeah, and I was like, it's time.
Wake
It's
up.
time to go. Yeah.
Aw.
That is sweet and sad. Yeah, but those are nice little bows on something that could be very traumatic.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of my favorite parts about working here is, like, it's not favorite in the sense that someone passed, but the way that kids talk about death so flippantly.
Oh, it's
So funny because they'll be like, yeah, I did this and then I did this. Oh, my grandma died. Or my dad got hit by a truck.
Yeah,
And
they
they're just
say
like, meh, meh, meh.
Yep.
Sure.
Oh, and they're just so, it's just like, oh, I wish everyone could have that.
Yeah, they have a perspective where, or with Emily, maybe if Amy and I are kind of having a disagreement, she'll go, Daddy, that's not very nice. You stop it. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yes.
can't argue with that.
Yes. Yes.
Daryle, how can people get a hold of you or your services?
Sturino Funeral Home, 262-632-4479.
And you guys are based out of Racine?
Yes, sir.
And people in Kenosha can also
of course.
come out that way. Okay. So you guys handle a lot of southeastern Wisconsin.
Kenosha, Racine, I'd say Oak Creek,
Awesome.
kind of that area.
Yeah. Man, I'm super grateful that we got to sit down, and I'm glad that you come off very genuine in
I
your
try. Thank you.
in your approach, and I'm glad that people do have someone like you in their corner while
I appreciate that.
while this is going on. So I really hope that you guys have continued success in your work and in the business, because I know the business is a business, right?
Yeah.
But we're rooting for you guys. Unfortunately, it sounds weird to say, right?
Well, thank you very much.
But thank you so much for giving us time.
Course.
Oh, you should go home and watch My Girl.
Oh, okay, I'll see what I can do.
Do it.
Yes.
Don't do it. It's sad.
Let's go.
Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of Y'all Be Good. And as always, a reminder that we are a project of Little Lion Cuts. We hope you've enjoyed these stories just as much as we have enjoyed sharing them. Every family has a story, and we're just grateful that we get to hear yours too. If you've enjoyed today's episode and you think someone else might need to hear it, don't forget to share this podcast with them. And hey, while you're at it, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. That really does go a long way. You definitely don't want to miss out on any of the real, raw, and inspiring conversations we've got lined up. And we'd love to hear your stories too. So go ahead and find us on Instagram at Y'all Be Good Pod, or drop us a message with your thoughts. And until next time, y'all be good.